we as a business have gone in a very interesting place where we've expanded and then locked it in and maybe contracted and expanded and locked it in. And right now we are in a very simple but deep time. Like there are very few things I'm doing. There's very few things you're doing in terms of within the business, but we're trying to make sure we just do those things really well. And I think we're more focused on the present than we have been.
You got to go and reevaluate the map and see where you're at and say, okay, well, I took a detour here. Well, I decided that wasn't that important. Well, I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend because of blah, blah, blah. So now we're not going to get married. So now I'm going to have to move when we have kids because I need to meet whatever it is. So it's constantly both. And that's why life is so hard. And that's why you have me, every couple months, I usually have a sort of little identity crisis.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1968, we're going to do a quick February. Is that how you pronounce it, technically?
I don't know, man. I just know it's spelt really funky.
Well, I'm going to go February, because that's how it's spelled.
February.
Yeah, we're going to do a quick February check-in. So at this point, can you do some math for me and figure out how much through the year we are?
Oh, yeah, man.
And as you do that, I will set the frame. So I don't know about you, whether you're watching or listening. I would say 1 month has probably felt like 6 months. It maybe was the longest month ever of all time. Really good. A lot of good stuff happened, a lot of stressful stuff. I was sick multiple times. There was a lot going on.
Are you ready for it?
Yes. Hold on. Let me guess. I'm going to guess it's 10% would be 20. I'm going to say it's 8.6%.
Nice. Very close. It's 9.04%.
Not close enough.
Through the year.
So we're 9% through the year.
Yes. If my mathematics is correct, it's 31 days in January plus 2 more days in Feb, so you're looking at 34.
Out of
33. 33 divided by 365. Yeah.
So the math is sound. It sounds sound to me. The reason I wanted to do this episode is because I know that when we hit February, as it is perfectly pronounced, you might be feeling all over the place. Maybe you have already given up on some of your beginning of the year goals. Mm-hmm. Maybe you feel like a loser. Maybe you feel like you're the best and you're crushing it. And I think realistically, none of that is true. And all of that is true at the same time. And I think sometimes we just need to zoom out. We need to zoom out. Alan and I were talking before this about how we're dealing with some different stuff behind the scenes. Alan more than I. Right now, I seem to be in a good phase. That means it's coming for me because the good phases don't stay super long. But anytime, enjoy it,
sir.
Anytime we're going through it, we try to zoom out. And sometimes zooming out means looking at the future. Sometimes zooming out means looking at the present from a different angle. And sometimes zooming out means looking at the past. And oftentimes it means all of those. This is my intention for today's episode, is for all of us to be able to zoom out a little bit and just take a pause. Zoom out. What happened in January? Was it good? Was it successful? Did we do more than we wanted? Did we do less? What did we learn? What did we forget? All of that. I think it's just a good way to start a new month.
One of the hardest things about this is when you ask, how did January go? So let's ask that to all listeners, all viewers. And let's answer it lead by example here. How did January go? My brain goes to a couple places. Number one, huge month for business. Great work. Strong work. Awesome.
Strong work.
So winning in business. Okay, great. Excellent. Progress. Fitness. Meh. Not terrible. I didn't let it ride, but meh. I'd say give it maybe an 8.
Okay.
Which for me is wildly unacceptable, quite frankly, because it's one of my most important things. And then sleep was pretty good, but not great. Now, here's the problem, and this is what I really hope lands. The most important priority in my personal life right now, my Alan's world, just for a second, is business success. Growing Next Level University as a company. That's my number one most important priority in my world right now in this chapter. Okay? So I did that. Great job. Awesome. Strong fucking work. Now, this might be unique to me. It probably is, but I don't know. I know some people feel this way. In order to achieve that, you almost have to kind of suck a little bit in some of the other shit. And it's very hard for me to be okay with that. It's very, like, I get it intellectually. I get it, right? You're not going to win in everything all the time. You can't. It's dumb. You can't be a professional gamer and a professional athlete and a professional business owner.
Well,
no one does that.
This is a good thought. You're most likely not going to be an Olympic sprinter, an Olympic wrestler, an Olympic high diver, an Olympic swimmer, an Olympic long distance runner, shot put, javelin. Like, you're most likely not, because what is required for one of those actually goes against what it would be to be good in another one.
100%. So if you were trying to be, I did a 5K last year and the lead time was something crazy, like 14:38 or something. If Kev is trying to get jacked and build muscle and simultaneously win that 5K this year, no way.
Yeah.
Because more muscle equals less. Like, if you were to, so just to put this in perspective, 14:38, 5K, that's 3.1 miles. That's sub 5-minute miles the entire time, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds terrible.
It doesn't even sound humanly possible. I don't understand how people do it.
I can't even do one sub 5-minute mile.
Right?
Not even one. I don't know if I can do a sub 6-minute mile.
I can't.
Okay. So everyone picture that person. What do you think they look like, Kev? Kev, describe that human.
I would guess you, but skinnier.
Tall, long legs, skinny.
Long legs, skinny, yeah.
Lanky, skinny. Okay, now you imagine yourself.
A bowling ball.
Bowling ball, just roll you down the hill.
If I could get rolling, I might be able to do it, but yeah.
But you're trying to build a lot of muscle, right? This is, you weigh what, 185 right now?
First of all, how dare you? Second of all,
I know.
182.
Oh, I was off by 3 pounds.
3 pounds is a lot.
But okay, if Kev is saying, "Hey, I'm building strength, I'm building muscle, I just got off a bulk and I built a ton of muscle and I feel jacked." Okay, now everyone imagine what Kevin looks like. See how different those two are? The point that I'm going to try to bring into this episode for myself and as well as the listeners is holistic is so difficult. It's very hard to do well at sleep and be present in my relationship with Emilia and crush it in business and be a world-class coach and make sure that I'm on time for my training and that's well prepped for. And in trainings, the standard for professional trainings is 3 hours of prep for every 1 hour on stage or in front of the class, so to speak. Yeah, good luck. I mean, with the way we have our life set up. So trying to be really, 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 really world-class at several things is extremely difficult. And for the NLU listeners, health, wealth, and love, and then break those into categories. Okay, so health, sleep, hydration, training. Okay, good. Boom, love. Okay, quality time. Boom, boom, boom. We break this down in relationship talks coaching recently. And then wealth. Where am I making my money? How much am I making? I have one client that's doing 5 different jobs. And part-time.
Alan's Wi-Fi has been jeffing.
Uh-oh.
Is this going to stay in the episode? I don't know. But he has frozen. We might lose him.
My internet went down.
He's back. No, you're good. I was holding space, just talking shit to myself.
Where did you miss me?
You stopped at, you did health, relationships. Those are the 2 that you did.
Okay, nice. So we're going to roll with it. We got this.
Of course.
So health and love. And then wealth is, I have a client who's part-time, 5 different jobs. One of them is semi-full-time with benefits. Awesome. Crushing it. Proud of you. You know who you are. How are you supposed to crush it in all 3 of those? All the time. It's really hard. And if you're out there watching or listening and you look at January to the point of this episode and you say, okay, I did really well at the most important thing. How do you, and I'm asking this for myself as well, how do you feel really good about that, knowing that that took away from some other things you value deeply?
I have a question. So my question, because I had this popped up for me when you were talking. Do you think, so if you had to start from a place, you could either start from A or B. Those are the only 2 options in this scenario. Would you rather start as somebody who is hyper-focused on the present or hyper-focused on the future? And here's why I ask. I don't know. I feel like for many of us, so for me, I think if I really focused on the present in the beginning and just getting good, not just like be present. I mean, lock in my habits, lock in the things that I need to lock in, then I could focus on the future. Versus right now, it's the end of February and you're saying, well, I'm worried about January of next year already. It's like, I don't know if that's good. Depending.
NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know, if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes.
I love this conversation. I'm so grateful you asked. I really appreciate it. This is something I've contemplated my entire life because I'm very future-oriented. I think your way of being hyper-present and focused on getting better in the present is optimal if it's reverse engineered. But you can't reverse engineer the present. So if you have your dream, 10 years plus, reverse engineered into, and I do this is dream mapping. I do this with clients. Emilia and I just did it with relationship talks, coaching clients. What you do is you take the year, you expand that out. So from 2025 to 2026, boom, you break it into 4 quarters. Then you take another scale and you break the next decade. So 2025 to 2035, boom. And then you write out 12 things you want to achieve. And then you put those 12 into the proper syntax. And what you realize is, oh, wait a minute, I want to get married and buy this home before I have these kids. Okay, well, I need to get this certification before I do that because I want to be able to afford having children and being present. So it's called dream mapping. I do it with clients all the time. Shout out to the clients that have done it. If any other client does want to do it, just let me know. Dream mapping. But the reason why that's so powerful is because once you have that done, and assuming you did it well, now being hyper-focused on getting better on the day-to-day and being present is actually optimal. But brother, without that first step, if you're just focused on today, your future's going to suck because you're not achieving anything. You don't have it reverse engineered. And so that's why life is so hard. It has to be both. And the moment, brother, let's say it's a quarter later and you crushed the quarter, guess what? You got to go and reevaluate the map and see where you're at. And say, okay, well, I took a detour here. Well, I decided that wasn't that important. Well, I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend because of blah, blah, blah. So now we're not going to get married. So now I'm going to have to move when we have kids because I need to meet whatever it is. So it's constantly both. And that's why life is so hard. And that's why you have me, every couple months, I usually have a sort of little identity crisis.
That's what we're dealing with right now. Not even a couple months. It's only been 1 month into the year. It's already happening. Well, I think we as a business have gone in a very interesting place where we've expanded and then locked it in and maybe contracted and expanded and locked it in. And right now we are in a very simple but deep time. Like there are very few things I'm doing. There's very few things you're doing in terms of within the business, but we're trying to make sure we just do those things really well. And I think we're more focused on the present than we have been.
Yeah, agreed.
Probably because we were super, super focused on the future. That's why I asked that question. Not that I don't think, trust me, I know the value of the long-term thinking, but I do think you can Jeff yourself.
Definitely.
But you can also Jeff yourself
on
the other
one
end.
You're always going to Jeff yourself. And it completely depends on what your goal is. Yeah. If your goal is to buy a house in 3 years, you can break that down. And what you have to do tomorrow actually isn't that bad. Maybe you have to save $10 tomorrow, depending on the home. But okay, $500,000 home versus $50 million home. Good luck doing that in 3 years. I mean, everything has to be reverse engineered. However, you have to do the behaviors and the process in the present. And it's very difficult because all of us, myself included, Kevin included, we are either more long-term or more short-term. There's no one I know who's exactly perfectly centered in this. There's no one. I mean, some people who are overly present, their futures, I can look and go, I don't know. Like, if you keep doing what you're doing now, I know you say, like, you're going to achieve X, Y, Z. That's a little delusional. It's not tethered to reality. You're not doing the process now. And then there's other people that are in the present doing the stuff, and they're actually going to end up way farther than they think. I had a client recently ask me, do you really think that's possible for me? Like, seriously? I said, you're underestimating what 20 years will do. Of course. 100% possible. Assuming that you continue improving. I said, you need to look at your calendar 3 years ago. You were not dialed in. You didn't know what the hell you were doing. What you need to understand is the compound effect. Like, if you keep doing what you're doing, 34 therapy calls per week, you will, I mean, the math will. Yeah, absolutely. I actually think you'll go farther than you thought. But the problem is that the people that are most future-oriented usually have the most belief, but the least humility. And the people like you who have higher humility, who are like, I need to make sure today goes well, that actually usually comes with low self-belief, which doesn't allow you to look into the future as much.
Well, I'm blessed because we have each other, and it kind of allows me to think very short-term. Because that's when I operate the best.
I feel blessed in that too, actually, because you're very focused on the now, so you plug the holes in the ship much quicker.
I don't want the ship to sink.
Well,
you know?
if the ship sinks, we don't get to the destination.
And I wonder if that's why I would say I have felt like I've had a pretty great year so far. I mean, I've been sick, but I looked. I exercised 21 out of the 31 days.
Nice.
Even being sick, like I'm happy with that. It's not as well as I wanted to do, but I had some good workouts. I've been dieting. I've been tracking calories. The business has grown. We have the most recurring clients we've ever had. We have the most clients we've ever had. I feel good about that. But to your point, I couldn't tell you the last time Tara and I went on a date. It's been...
That's what I'm saying.
Long.
And it's been winter too, so that makes it harder.
Winter makes it hard, yeah. But still, it's not just because of that. It's because she's been doing she's in her own grind season.
Nice.
Where, she's working a bunch, and so it's not... There are other priorities right now. There are other goals. I won't say there are other priorities, but there are other goals that dictate other priorities. And that's a season. That is a season. And so far, the season has been a month, and it's been a successful month so far. But this is the thing I'll end with, because we got to pop off here. If you feel like you've made no progress, that most likely isn't true. And there's still a lot of freaking time left. If you feel like you're crushing it and nothing can go wrong, that also isn't true. Because there's a lot of freaking time left. Yeah, you might have a 20-point lead, but we're only 10 minutes into the game. Like, there's a lot of game left. You might be losing by 20. There's still a lot of game left. It doesn't mean you can't turn it around and really make something of it.
Last question.
Sure.
How do you choose between the quality of life that you want and the goals you want to achieve? Because those are in conflict often.
How do I choose between the two?
Yeah.
I think I've just been more honest with the fact that, it's kind of like, could I go buy? I was looking the other day. I went to Target to get something. I was looking at like the 85-inch TVs. I was like, ooh. And they're not, $700, $800, like that's not that bad. 85-inch TV 10 years ago would have set you back a car. It's like, that would have been thousands of dollars. But it's the, you know what? Would that break the bank? No. Would that break this? No. Would that break that? No. But it would slow down momentum. It would slow down momentum. And is that slowing down of momentum worth the little lifestyle upgrade that I'll get? Probably not. So I think I'm just trying to weigh it better. Even like we have more money in the bank than we have in a long time, you'd think that it would make me want to ball out. I have been cooking. I'm not ordering out. So like, if anything, it's reinforced the fact that it's actually working.
Nice.
Like being a little bit stingy and being disciplined has actually created the opportunity to be disciplined at a higher level. So I'm trying to lock that in. I'm trying to...
Nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to lock that in. So that's probably the best answer I could give currently.
Fire.
I just have a more positive relationship than I used to. I'm not taking away from myself. I'm actually creating a bigger opportunity in the future. That is what I would say.
Nice.
You dig?
I do. Yeah.
All right, we gotta-
That's
we gotta-
a constant dance for everybody.
It is a
The
constant
future
dance.
versus the present. You're not alone in that, and goal achievement requires you to sacrifice in the present. That's a mathematical, scientific fact.
Well, we're always talking about it because this is one of those unsexy fundamentals that I don't think is ever going to go out of style. If anything, it's only going to get more valuable over time. So we will talk about this forever and ever. Okay, as always, we love you. So first of all, hold on real quick. There is a meetup on Thursday. So if you're listening to this, it might be Tuesday. If not, no worries. But
How
we
to
have
align with your core values.
How to align with your core values. It's a meetup. It's totally free. It's from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's on Zoom. Reach out to us. Oh, well, actually, we'll have the link in the show notes. You can register there. It'll give you all the information you need. It'll give you the Zoom link. So we would love to see you there. Continue the year. I know we're only a month in, but don't let your progress stop if you're making it. Don't let your progress just stop because you don't feel like you've been making any. Either way, there's a lot of growth. So we'll have the link in the show notes for that. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Stay next level. Next Level Nation.